Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. And as you can see behind me, I've got the Kubota BX, and I'm going to do the 50-hour oil change on it and change out the hydrostat oil filter. So stay tuned and I'll be back in just a minute. So I think the last video that I posted was me tilling up the front yard, and I haven't really posted anything since then, but I have sown grass seed and it has come up. And this is what it looks like now. I've got a little bit of a thin spot right in here. We've been getting a lot of rain. Like, it's been raining anywhere from 1 to 2 inches. We go for like a week not having rain, and then it just get a downpour. So it kept washing the seed. And I've got a little garden weasel right here I've been using to get the seeds in the ground or covered up more, and it's starting to fill in. There's some grasses starting to come up in it now, and I'm going to take you out here and let you look at it. There's still a few thin spots, but this is still baby grass, so it's going to fill in as time goes on and it grows more. But yeah, it's doing really good. The goal is to get it all that thick before it's over with. Oh, and here's a good patch over here too. Look at that. This is a little low spot where a lot of seed collected, and as you can see right here, you can see some of the seed coming up out of the ground. I use that garden weasel to put some seed into there. And I'll take you back here to the backyard. Now, I didn't till it up just because it stays kind of wet back there, and the tractor wanted to mower up some, so I just sowed the seed right over the existing grass. But as you can see, it's coming in really, really good. It's actually doing better, and there's a lot of weeds here. There's some dollar weed and stuff, but I'm not really too concerned about that right now. But it's coming in pretty good. Especially this right here. This is getting kind of, it ain't gonna be long for that's gonna have to be mowed. But it's all coming in pretty good. And over here on the side yard, or the backyard I should say, we got a little thin spot right here. Again, it wanted to wash right here, so I took the garden weasel and threw out some more seed in here and kind of worked it into the dirt some a few days ago. So hopefully that'll thicken up. And actually, it rained so much, you can see a lot of the seed right there have come back up to the surface, which is crazy. But overall, it's coming in. So I had to switch cameras because for some reason my GoPro only let me record about 3 minutes and 17 seconds worth of video, and the SD card is empty. I'm not sure what size SD card it is. I was recording at 1080p by 60, so I might have to get a new SD card for it. But anyway, I'm on my Canon Rebel SO2 right now. It's a little bit heavier, but it's still not bad. It's pretty compact. I want to get a Sony mirrorless camera, but that'll be later on down the road. But the main video today is going to be changing the oil in the Kubota. Now, this is going to be the 50-hour service. It actually has 64 hours on it right now, which isn't a big deal. I mean, it's just a break-in period, and you can hear it running in the background. And I'll come over here and show you why I'm doing that. And that looks to be about right there. So I'm going to cut it off. As you can see, temperature gauge just starting to creep up, and that there is going to be good enough to do the oil change. I don't like to do an oil change where the oil is cold, because if you think about it, I mean, you ever had a fish fry, or you ever fried chicken in a pan with grease or with oil, and after you get done cooking it, if you go ahead and dump the oil out, a lot of the particles and stuff come out with it. But if you let it sit overnight and you dump it out the next morning, there's a lot of those particles that's still left in the bottom of the pan. That's kind of the same principle here. So I always like to let it warm up, and like I said, I don't let it get up to full operating temperature. I just like for it to start moving the needle some. That way I know that the oil is at least warm. You know, I don't want it scalding hot because I still have to change it. So I'm gonna try and get you set up on an angle here where you can see, and this is my first time changing the oil on this tractor. I've looked at a couple of YouTube videos on how to do it, and it's not really that complicated. Just change the oil in the oil filter and the filter for the hydrostat. That's what the 50-hour service call is for. So give me just a minute, I'll get everything set up, and I'll be right back. Before I do that, I just remembered one quick note on this Kubota BX, and that's with the hood release. If you look right here, this says to pull it back this way, which can be kind of misleading. You actually have to pull up and back at the same time to release it. So that's just a quick tip. If you're having a hard time, you're just pulling this back and it won't release, you've got to pull up and back at the same time. So I'm gonna get the hood up on this thing and I will be right back. So on this Kubota, the radiator is actually right here where the steering column is at. Sorry, there's a big truck that just went by. But the radiator is right here with the fan and everything, and it actually pulls air through this screen here versus having it at the front of the tractor up there, which I really like, because my dad actually, it's hard to tell at this angle because the hood's up and everything, but he actually bent this plate here from where a limb or something had hit it and bent it. But if that would have went, if that guard hadn't been there, or if it would have went through the guard and into the front of the tractor, it could have punched a hole right through the radiator. So having it back here, I really like that. Plus, it's bringing in cool air here, so you don't have any hot air blowing back on you. So that's a plus. That's what I like about that. Everything's pretty accessible. This is an all-metal hood, so these sides here, they cannot be removed, as far as I know. Actually, no, they can't, because I can see the welds right here where they've got them welded together. So these can't come off. So I know some other tractors you can take this side panel off here and get a lot more access here, but on this Kubota BX it's all metal and it's all one piece. Right here is your oil dipstick, how you check the oil, and your oil fill cap is actually right there where my finger's at, which this cord here, let me get you back in the frame, this cord here is kind of in the way of this fill cap, so I don't like that too much. Oh, but it can unclip off and kind of move it out of the way. I just unclipped it off of that little bolt, and you can kind of move it out of the way. But I wished it was somewhere else because that can be a pain. Also, this hose here is kind of up over that too. It would have really been nice if they could have like put it like, I don't know, maybe right there. I don't know if there was a reason why that is, but anyway, it is what it is. The engine is warm, I can feel it. So while I'm talking with y'all, I'm just gonna let it sit here and just let it kind of cool down a little bit and just kind of go over it some. There's your alternator, really small alternator, that's big enough for this tractor. That is gonna be your starter, I'm pretty sure. That is the oil filter, and the factory ones will be gray. So if you're ever wondering if the oil's ever been changed in your tractor and it's got over 50 hours on it, if that filter is still gray, that's the original filter from the factory. Because the new one that you'll get from the dealership, it's going to be white. And right here is the part number and stuff, if I can get it in the frame. Right there's the part number and stuff for the BX2680 engine oil filter. And this is the part number and information for the hydrostat oil filter. So, and I went ahead and got the Kubota engine oil. You can use oil from Walmart or wherever as long as it's 15W40. But it wasn't that much more than the Kubota oil. I think it was like $22, $23 for that jug. So I would hang out the Kubota oil while I was at the dealership. I believe in supporting your local dealer, and the dealer that I have for this Kubota is outstanding. Great service. Alright, I'll get my tours ready, and I think I'm going to actually change the hydrostat filter first, just because that's the only thing I've got to do is just change the filter. So I'll be right back. Right here is the filter for the hydrostat. Now you don't have to change the hydrostat oil or anything like that. I went ahead and put some oil on the gasket of the new filter. So all I gotta do is take this one off and put the new one on, and I'm pretty sure that some oil is gonna leak out whenever I do this, so I'm gonna have to make it quick. Boy, is it on there. Wow. Let me move this out of the way. Come on. Alright, I think I can get it off by hand now. Alright, she's a-flowing. But not too bad. It might just be on the filter itself. Alright, as you can see, a little bit was coming out. I'm gonna go get a rag and wipe off that filter some and tighten it up some, and I'll be right back. I'm just gonna wipe this filter off some, just so I can get a better grip on it, and also tighten it up. Now I'm not trying to get this super tight, and I think I'm actually going to put this on it and see if I can get just a little bit tighter. Just a little bit, not much at all. And right about there will probably be good. Now you notice I didn't turn that very much with that, and that's because I don't want it to, I don't want to over tighten it. So that's good. Alright, let's move on to the engine oil. I like to pour the dipstick out right there, or either open up the oil drain or the oil fill. That way it'll drain out faster. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour that dipstick out. That's the bolt that you take out to drain the oil. So I'm gonna get you set up. Okay, I'm not sure what size nut that this is. Let's see. Alright, a 9/16 will fit it, but it's a little bit loose. I'm thinking this is probably a metric. So a 14 millimeter will fit this. Yeah, 14 millimeter will fit it. A 9/16 will also fit it, but it's going to be looser. Actually, let me see a 1/2 inch, see if that will fit. No, 1/2 inch will not fit. Alright, I got that loose. I can turn that with my hand now. Oop. Damn it. I've dropped it, but it's okay. I'm gonna wipe all that out, and then I'll put the new filter in. Okay, so I've got the drain plug back in, and I'm gonna wipe around this oil fill cap on the engine just to get any debris that might be around it, so none of that won't fall into the engine. Actually, that come loose quite easily. I'm surprised. I don't like where that oil fill cap is at. Well, I mean, the location of the oil fill cap is fine. It's just, I don't like what's around it. It's too much stuff in the way. But I guess that's the way it is with all manufacturers now. This thing takes 4.2 quarts. I'm gonna start pouring oil in. I'm going to crank it up, and first I'm going to check the dipstick, see where it's reading at on the dipstick, and then I'm going to crank it up, let it idle for just a couple of minutes. Alright, I'm going to crank it up for just a minute and see where we're at. I'm only going to let it run for just a minute or two just to get the oil circulating. Okay, I didn't see any leaks. There was enough time to get the oil circulating good, get the filter filled up. Now I'm going to check the oil level. Well, I need to add some more. So I'm just going to keep repeating this, putting some in it and checking the dipstick until I get it on full.